I'm going to be ranking every single race inside of Xenoverse 2 from worst to best. If you didn't know what these races are, well, they include the Frieza race, the Saiyan race, the Earthling race, the Majin race, and the Namekian race. Now, I have actually played as all of these races at some point in my lifetime, whether that be 4 years ago, 9 years ago, or 1 day ago. Quick disclaimer, we will not be separating the genders into these ranks either. When I say the Majin race, it goes for both of them. Same with human and the same with Saiyan, just to keep things more simple for me. And of course, this is all opinion based. You're allowed to disagree, but keep it civil and don't go on a little baby tantrum. So to get started, I'm just gonna go out with a bang, and that would be the worst race in Xenoverse 2, which I think is the human/Earthling race. I'm sorry, but there's just like no reason to pick the Earthling race unless you want to try their combo strings. The Earthlings are literally copy-pasted Saiyans. Even in the files, you use the HUM folders for mods and the HUF file for the female. So they are literally copy-pasted down to the very data that brings them to existence. Also, in my opinion, they just feel incredibly clunky compared to the many other races in Xenoverse 2. I can't really pinpoint the exact reason why I feel that way, but there's just something about them that isn't as polished as the Saiyans or the Frieza race. It might be the animations, it might be that they have a lot more launch combo strings. I, in all honesty, cannot think of any reason why you choose a human race other than to just try it out when you're bored. Now, I know this isn't really Dimps' fault, because what is the difference between the human race and the Saiyan race? But I think it's worth noting that at the end of the day, there is still no unique hairstyles for this race, there is no unique clothing for this race. The unique transformation isn't even a transformation, it's this power pole nimbus cloud thing that isn't even that great in my opinion. There's no unique body style for them. I was hoping there'd be like a slimmer version and not just the same as the Saiyan body type, or like a fatter version, but no. Now moving to what I think is the fourth worst race in Xenoverse 2, and that is, of course, the Majin race. Now, if I went against what I was saying, and we were including the genders because they are slightly different from each other, the Majin race would probably be a bit higher up, but that male Majin really brings the race down for me. But I'm going to say the reasons why it's not in last place, and that is because it has unique clothing. Albeit not a lot of unique clothing, there is enough there to at least let your mind come up with something unique. I like what little customization options we have for these Majins besides the body types, where you can't make them even bigger or even smaller. They don't feel as clunky as you'd expect them to, especially with their stretchy hands and Toon Force looking animations. I haven't been on the online scene with the Majin race like I have with the human race and its infinite combo string, but when I play Majin, this could just be a skill issue, but I feel like it's so awkward to land these devastating combos that last more than 5 seconds. Again, I want to go back to the body slider type. I feel like the Majin is what you'd give the most free will to the player. It would only make sense to be able to let the player a different kind of slider for the Majin race, just so you can make them a bit bigger, wider instead of fatter, slimmer and wide, or just slim. Majin coexists, so yes, we do have slim Majins. Majin Do isn't as fat as Majin Buu, so there is still some variety there. I think adding different tentacle looking things onto the Majin body would have been an amazing and very welcome addition to this race. Now, this race does actually have some unique skills, and off the top of my head, the only one I can actually think of is Majin Kamehameha. So it's kind of a letdown. It is just a copy paste with a different colour, but at least it's something. The unique transformation for the Majins is Kid Buu, and this is also keeping the race down for me as well. When you use Kid Buu, or Purification as it's called, you can't use any of your custom set attacks or ultimates or combo strings. They're just Kid Buu combos. You are literally just turned into a different versioned colour of Kid Buu. So you're not even playing as your own Kak at that point, and that really bugs me. Like, if you've watched other videos on my channel, you know that these fake transformations that are disguised as different characters really bugs me. And I know it doesn't bug everyone, but that's gonna really hold back the race for me. Now, for the third race, this might be a little controversial. Some might say I'm going to the deepest depths of hell with this, but it's going to be the Frieza race. Now, taking account the online scene for this, I've always struggled with Frieza race and just their reach with things. They don't have the best reach, even with bots sometimes. But the unique clothing for the Frieza race is definitely a bonus for me. It actually changes their body type. It gives them spikes, it gives them smoothed out areas, makes them look hot and glorious, makes them stand out. Granted, a lot of Frieza cacks end up looking the same. That's just because of how many people play the game and how some things just don't work well together. But the options are still there, whether that be in the actual customization part of your character or when you're adding the clothing. And of course you can just use the basic clothing as well, the same as, well, every other race. Unique skills, I don't think we actually have any for the Frieza race, apart from Golden Frieza, or Turn Golden as it's actually called. Now, Turn Golden I actually like quite a lot. It changes your body into the golden scheme with Frieza's purple as well. It changes your Ki Blast, which I think is really cool. It changes it into a Death Beam, and then you could charge that Death Beam as well. So you've basically got another super attack instead of the 4 that you've selected. Unfortunately, this is the only Frieza race transformation that's unique to them. There is no suppressed forms, there is no max power forms, and there is no final forms, and there is no cooler form. Now, I think the Frieza race is all about flashing when they're doing the combo strings, so this can be a big issue when you're battling. Again, I just haven't had the best experiences with Frieza race, and Frieza race was actually my first ever Xenoverse cac. Yes, Xenoverse 1. I think they're a nice change of pace from the usual Saiyan types or Majin types. They don't feel as clunky as Earthlings, which is great in every single way. I just wish there was a little bit more to them than what we do have right now. So for number 2, we have Namekians. I haven't played a lot of Namekian, but when I have, it's been a good time. Honestly, it's been a nice, fun, chill time. And the reach on Namekians is just insane. It allows your brain to think of what attack you're going to do next instead of just rushing in like the usual Xenoverse 2 playstyle promotes you to do. The unique clothing for the Namekian I think is really cool. It can give them this battle hardened look that you don't really see in the main media of the Dragon Ball universe. A lot of the Namekians are depicted as these timid creatures that farm and guard Dragon Balls, or just grow old and sit there. So other than Piccolo and the Universe 6 Namekians, we haven't really seen any Namekians fight in official animated or manga Dragon Ball at all. Now, I know Namekians being in second may be very confusing for some people due to the fact their unique transformation is turned giant, and once again it is a transformation that is actually just a different character. But unlike the purification skill for the Majin race, Turn Giant actually gives you a different playstyle overall, and I feel like that's worth noting when ranking these different races inside of Xenoverse, because it makes you actually use your brain instead of, again, doing the same tactics of just rushing in and spamming after image. Now granted, I don't like Turn Giant and I would much rather have purification. That little change into the playstyle of how things work just boosts these guys up overall. I don't believe there's any unique moves / skills that the Namekians can do, but there is Namekian based attacks in the game anyway. And of course we have the customization options, which I honestly really like. In the main media of Dragon Ball, once again, we've only really seen Namekians be depicted with the antennas and the bald head. Now granted, we still have the luxurious, shiny, oiled up P. Diddy bald head with the Namekian race, but at least it gives us a lot more options to work with, whether that be spikes / devil looking horns, or a mohawk with antennas, or just different antennas in general. The options are there, and I think that's a great thought that Dimps put in compared to what they could have just done. Also, the combo strings allow you to stretch your body, which I think is really cool, and again just shakes up the playstyle as well. You can can attack from a little bit further, or you can go a bit closer and do a little bit more damage. Why did I turn my voice like that? Okay. So I really think the only thing holding the Namekians back would honestly be the transformation turned giant. I mean, you'd think we'd have gotten the unique version that Piccolo has with Power Awakening, or at least Orange by now, but no, we're not gonna get that. And I think it's pretty obvious who was gonna get first place. It's of course the Saiyan race. I mean, Dimps is in love with the Saiyan race. They would have 1,000 children with the Saiyan race. They'd ram it so deep inside that you wouldn't have a choice to be the Saiyan race or not. They, by far, have the most transformations inside of Xenoverse 2. They have access to nearly every single piece of clothing, nearly every single skill, every single evasive, and of course have the best photo mode shots there is. Again, the customization doesn't really let down the Saiyans, because that's what it was originally, and it's not like the Saiyans copied the Earthlings, or the Earthlings copied the Saiyans. It could be the same way round, but one race is going to have that as a good thing, and one race is going to have it as a bad thing. Saiyans have by far the most damage, I think, as well as the most viable combo strings, as well as the easiest. Everyone in Xenoverse has used a Saiyan at some point, or they will use a Saiyan at some point. Now, of course, I do wish there was unique clothing and unique skills for this race, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Other than the Super Saiyan forms, what else can you do? Grade 8? I don't know, that wouldn't really work. Skills wise, you can't really do anything unique that Earthlings can't do, and like everyone else. But other than that, everything is just peak Xenoverse with the Saiyan race, and unfortunately, Dimps feels the same way. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? We have the Earthlings in 5th, Majins in 4th, Frieza race in 3rd, Namekians in 2nd, and the Saiyans in 1st, because they always are. So while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. Only takes a few seconds. You're not allowed to unsubscribe. And of course, check out the second channel as well, as I'm currently reworking things once again.